Celtic 4-0 Raith Rovers, hosts through to Scottish Cup quarter-finals. The Green Brigade back on the Parkhead naughty step. Ange Postecoglou refused to use the flat atmosphere as an excuse. Regardless of whether his players are up against Rangers or Raith Rovers, Celtic's manager expects his team to light up the night skies with pyrotechnics. Unbeaten in 16 games since losing to Bayer Leverkusen in the Europa League, a much-changed Celtic secured a comfortable place in the last 8 of the Scottish Cup with their 9th consecutive win. Unbeaten in domestic games since an away defeat to Livingston in September, they haven't lost to another Scottish team at home all season. On the face of things, there isn't a great deal for the Parkhead boss to be upset about. Generally an undemonstrative coach on the sidelines, however, the Australian let rip at his players shortly after a big first-half penalty claim for Raith Rovers. Regan Tumilty's downward header strayed dangerously close to the arm of Celtic defender Cameron Carter-Vickers, and while replays showed the ball struck the junction of armpit and chest, with the arm in a natural position, it was a little too close for comfort. Leading by a 20-yard strike from Liam Scales, the game turned out fine thanks to 3 late goals. Yet, for long spells of the first half, Celtic were one-paced, laboured and hellbent on playing themselves into trouble at the back. Eventually, the manager's patience snapped. "The way we set up and play our football, I forgive everything from mistakes, people making bad decisions," said Postecoglou. "But I just won't cop people just putting in a 45-minute shift. That's not what it's about. That's when my frustration comes out. I just feel every time you put the shirt on there's a price to pay for it. That price is you give everything you have for the time you are out there, within the context of how we play. They are not hamstring. They get plenty of freedom out there, and we played some outstanding stuff in the second half. But you are not going to do that if you are looking for a comfortable afternoon. There were too many doing that in the first half. Maybe it's just the fact we're on such a good run, and people keep talking about momentum. Things are going so well, psychologically people think things are just going to happen, but they won't. The subs came on and made an impact, but that's their job. The last half an hour was just as important as the first 60 minutes, but that's the frustrating bit. The second half was much more like ourselves, and that's why I don't accept the first 45. This was a game for restoring broken spirits in the end. A day for damaged souls to begin the healing. With 16 minutes to play, Christopher Jullien, Celtic's £7 million central defender, looked to the heavens and gave thanks for a break at last. The last time the Frenchman witnessed any action in a green and white shirt was December 30, 2020, when Neil Lennon was still Celtic's manager and 10 in a row was still a possibility at least. His return after a 13-month injury nightmare was met with a rousing reception from the Celtic support. He appeared when Celtic had already sealed their place in the quarter-finals of the Scottish Cup, yet no one can say their championship opponents made it easy. If any team needed some overdue repairs on their reputation, it was Raith Rovers. Manager John McGlynn owned up to an enormous error over the signing of David Goodwillie on Thursday. For long spells here he got his tactics spot on. Celtic's breakthrough came after 22 minutes. Tom Rogic picked out Scales 20 yards from goal with an intelligent pass, and the Irishman composed himself before smashing an unstoppable shot off the inside of Jamie McDonald's right-hand post for the opening goal. Compact, organised and playing a high line, the championship side worked their backsides off and grew in confidence after the penalty appeal. One of those where fans see what they want to see, Raith screamed long and hard. Referee Stephen McLean wasn't having it. The last remnants of resistance were finally drained from the Fifers after 68 minutes. The goal was a model of brilliant simplicity, a perfectly weighted pass from Hatate sending the fresh legs of Jota in behind Regan Tumilty. Glancing up, the Portuguese saw Giakoumakis in position to grab his goal at the third time of asking, the striker opening up his body to tuck it low beyond McDonald. 2 goals down, the very last thing Raith needed was a triple Celtic substitution, introducing 15-goal Leo Labata, Daisen Mita and Yasuke Taguchi, making his first appearance since an injury against Alloa in the last round. The new boys made their presence felt quickly. With 19 minutes to play, Abata's outswinging corner was headed towards goal by Ralston. McDonald desperately tried to claw Mita's first header away from goal, but only managed to push the ball onto the head of the Japanese substitute for 3-0. Celtic's fourth goal was farcical in a number of ways. The soft spot kick award for a handball against Mackie was harsh. The referee's decision to show a yellow to the wrong player added to the surreal nature of events, and Nurbitton's spot kick was so bad he needed 2 attempts to creep it over the line. Pleased with his own first goal at Parkhead and place in the last 8, Scales admits Celtic can, and usually do, play better. There were mixed emotions as we didn't quite get to our levels in the first half. We were much better in the second half, and it's good to progress in the competition, he said. But it says the standards are very high here. The scoreline looked good, but the performance wasn't where it needed to be. The manager got that message across, it wasn't good enough, and you saw the difference in the second half. I'm not sure why, we just weren't clicking. It happens in football, but we needed to be quicker, and Raith did quite well. It's a reminder the standards are so high. He wants us on top of our game, no matter who we are playing against, and rightly so.